The porcelain cup struck my chest before my brain even caught up with the sting. Hot coffee splashed across my blouse, dripping in slow black streaks toward my lap like tar. The bitter scent mixed with the stifling perfume she always drowned herself in, filling the inheritance meeting with something rotten, heavy. Her voice followed, sharp, poisoned, coated in arrogance. Having fun living with the street dogs? The lawyer froze mid-page, his pen hovering above the document. My son's wife smirked, her lips curled in satisfaction as if humiliating me was her crowning achievement. The coffee burned, but I didn't flinch. I didn't wipe the stain. I didn't blink, because beneath her false triumph, I held a truth she didn't even suspect. This room wasn't hers. The silence wasn't hers. Even the house she tried to claim with manicured claws had never truly belonged to her. I kept still. I let her believe she had already won, because I had learned that victories taste sweeter when your enemy drowns in their own arrogance first. When my husband died, grief didn't cut like the sharp blade people described. No. Grief was dull. Heavy, like a stone pressed against my chest that I carried from room to room. I could still hear echoes of his slippers dragging down the hall, the smell of his tobacco lingering in the curtains. I lived with the weight of his absence. But she didn't wait even a week before revealing her true face. Boxes on the porch, my clothes folded carelessly like rags. "You'll be better off somewhere else, Mother. We need space." That was how she phrased it, space. But the truth was exile. I had raised my son in that house. I cooked for him, stayed awake through his fevers, cheered at his graduations. Yet when I turned to him for help, his eyes slipped away from mine. Cowardice? Weakness? Or maybe her spell had already taken hold. Either way, his silence was a betrayal sharper than her words. So I left. One suitcase, one pair of shoes, and silence filling my mouth like broken glass. But silence can be powerful. Silence can turn invisible hands into weapons. While she paraded herself like a queen in mourning, I gathered details. Whispers from neighbors, receipts left forgotten in drawers, perfume bottles that weren't hers. Slowly, carefully, I pieced together the puzzle my husband had left behind. The night I found his hidden phone, tucked deep inside his study drawer beneath tax papers, the ground shifted. The screen unlocked without resistance, and there it was, messages, endless, scrolling down like a waterfall of betrayal. Not from her, but from another woman, his mistress, his lies inked across years of anniversaries, fake business trips, phantom overtime. It didn't cut. It froze me, like stepping barefoot onto cold stone and realizing the warmth you had trusted for decades was nothing but an illusion. But I didn't scream. I didn't cry. Instead, I collected DNA results. Bank transfers, a second will, signed, sealed, but hidden. My husband, in his twisted secrecy, had written his true intentions long before death came for him, and those intentions did not include her. By the time the inheritance meeting arrived, my plan was complete. I needed only to sit, to wait, to let her strut into her own downfall. The lawyer cleared his throat, shuffling papers. She leaned back, tapping her nails against the desk like a drumbeat of impatience, convinced her victory was a formality. And then he read it. The silence afterward was not silence at all. It was a thunderclap, heavy enough to crack bone. Every asset, every account, every deed, not hers. Not even my son's. Mine. The true will had been signed years before she even stepped into this family. My husband's wealth, the house, the name, everything she thought she had clawed her way into was mine alone. Her face drained of color. The smirk slid off her lips like paint peeling from damp walls. She realized, in a single brutal heartbeat, that she had kicked out the rightful owner of the roof over her head. Her voice trembled. "No, this isn't possible. He told me, he promised me." I raised my eyes at last, calm as still water. "You should be careful where you throw coffee," I said softly. "It leaves stains." She lunged for the documents, desperation snapping through her painted nails. The lawyer's hand pinned them firmly to the desk, her eyes locked on mine, burning, unraveling. You knew all this time." I let the silence answer her. Silence, my oldest ally. Silence heavier than rage, sharper than vengeance. Finally, I leaned forward, my voice low, deliberate. "You asked me if I was having fun living with the street dogs, but tell me, how does it feel to be a guest in my house?" Her breath caught. Her pride shattered. The ground beneath her arrogance crumbled. The inheritance she thought was her crown was now her prison. I rose. The coffee stain on my blouse stiffened against my skin, and I wore it like armor. Her voice followed me, frantic, broken, echoing in the hallway. But I didn't turn back. Loss no longer burned. Betrayal no longer stung. Everything had crystallized into brutal, clean clarity. I had been cast aside like trash, but now, the house, the wealth, the silence, it was all mine. And her? She would never again sip from porcelain in that house without tasting bitterness. I didn't smile. I didn't cry. I only whispered to myself as the heavy doors shut behind me. The coffee was worth the stain.